Ladies and gentlemen, dictators and despots, welcome back to Democracy 4. My name, of course, is Open Potato. Wowzers, what a turnaround. What a turnaround. We have just started a brand new term. It's probably worth just recapping exactly where we are. We are still trying to turn the United States of America into a police state. We didn't do much of the police statification in the last episode, primarily because we were just getting on top of the economic situation, and I was worried about, losing a pretty important election. We have to make sure, we have to make sure that straight away, we increase our executive term limit to 3, at least 3, actually. Otherwise, we are going to be in trouble. Executive term limit, yeah, that needs to be increased, ideally all the way up to infinite. Frankly, an infinite number of turns. However, we can just about survive with that at the moment, or we can just about survive with 3 at the moment, I should say. But the problem is that we don't actually have the political capital to get up to the next level. So here's the situation. At the moment, our political capital is about 25 per turn. 25 per turn. Up to a maximum of 44. So we're going to need to spend a couple of political capital on this occasion. However, if I have a little look at the intelligence overlay, ID cards, for example, that costs 48. That costs 48 political capital just to implement. That is problematic. That is very, very problematic. So I talked a little bit about it in the last episode, but yeah, we are going to be encouraging a hyperinflation situation to occur. Quantitative easing, we've actually been asked to bump it up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do it straight away. How much political capital is that going to cost? 4 measly political capital. Absolutely. Sign me up. Let's freaking go. We're going to get a little bit of extra GDP as well. Not like that particularly matters. Yeah, so that's exactly where we are at this moment in time. The doctor strike has ended. Health as a consequence has improved. Education is still pretty good, continuing to increase thanks to the adult education subsidies. That's cool. Internet crime is now a thing, although on the last turn I pumped up intelligence service spending, so we should be able to get that fully implemented. We'll just make sure that it's at the very top. So yeah, that's probably not going to be around forever. This water shortage, it's a bit of an issue. It's a bit of an issue, actually, and this is driven by the average temperature, and also the fact that there's a large number of farmers. How many farmers are in this country? How many farmers are in this gosh darn country here? Membership of the farming group has increased a little bit, which is not ideal, but not the end of the world. Okay, so we ideally want to solve that. Environmental protests, they're continuing to exist. Respiratory disease, I really thought that we were in with a chance of fixing the respiratory disease when we started up reforestation, but apparently not. The other thing that I noted that I wanted to get in place, like, really quickly, was a green electronics initiative. Yeah, we only have 12 political capitals. We can't actually do it this turn, but we want to do it so that we can get ahead of the curve when it comes to the rare earth crisis. So we want to get on top of that situation as quickly as we possibly can. But other than that, we're just trying to continue in our stated aim of turning the United States into a police state. It's literally that simple. Except it's not that simple. It's never that simple. Liberal opinion has decreased, and has started to decrease rather rapidly, actually. And it's going to continue to decrease as we continue to implement more and more draconian law and order policies. As you can see, literally all of the policies that we've either already introduced or we're going to be introducing, they all take away from liberal opinion. So I feel like maybe we should try and boost up some policies that the liberals like. The only problem with doing that is that, for example, you saw it there, actually. Let me go back to art subsidies just for a second. Yeah, art subsidies. So this actually increases liberalism membership as well as increasing liberal opinion. And I don't want to increase liberalism membership. No, on the contrary, I want to decrease it, and I want to decrease it as fast as I possibly can. Gated communities. This is conservatives. I don't know why I'm here. Yeah. Okay, that clicking on the liberalism thing takes me through to the membership of the conservatives. That's fine. I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I mean, what? Press freedom? Press freedom gives gives us loads of liberals. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Narcotic policy gives us a whole bunch of liberals as well. I feel like, honestly, we're gonna turn this right down. This is also gonna decrease liberal opinion, but I mean, what can you really do? What can you really do? 12 political capital to do that. Again, that's not exactly ideal. Executive term limit. No, that's not a big deal. Judicial independence. I mean, to be brutally honest, I would love to just crank this right back. But the issue is, again, we're gonna upset the liberals, and if we upset liberals, then I know we're just gonna feel the wrath. We're gonna feel the wrath of an assassination attempt. It's literally that simple. So we gotta be careful about this. We gotta be really, really careful about this. Maybe we can introduce a policy that that liberals like. Increase liberal membership, again at the expense of liberalism membership. Increase liberal opinion at the expense of membership. Same with right to die. Needle exchange program. Needle exchange program, I tell you what, that might just be our golden ticket. It does irritate the conservatives, although to be brutally honest, the conservatives love me already. If they have to put up with a needle exchange program, I'm sure they will. Anyway, we've cranked up the whatchamacallit, the rate of inflation, or we've cranked up the quantitative easing, which is going to lead to an immediate increase in the inflation rate. I'm gonna hopefully see if my cabinet gets up to snuff. If they do get up to snuff, I'm going to allow single-use plastic, again, to try and appease the liberals. If my cabinet do end up, perhaps, in some weird circumstance, if they're able to give me, I don't know, like 30 political capital a turn, or at least an increased cap, then that would be great. Yeah. Okay, poverty increases just a little bit. The rare earth crisis... The rare earth crisis apparently just happened before I could even notice. Cyberbullying, again, that's a bit of a pain in the backside. I don't really care about cyberbullying, to be honest, though. We're still running an absolutely massive surplus, which is wonderful. In the polls, we've got 99% of the votes, which is fantastic. Maximum political capital of 50. Is that because this guy's a little bit more loyal? I feel like maybe that is the case. If that is the case, do I really feel the need to crank us up to sort of max levels of quantitative easing? I feel like I don't need to do that. Not quite yet, anyway. Yeah, let's take that right back. I know that might seem like a little bit of a wasted turn, but honestly, if I can not end up going into sort of crisis emergency power mode, then that would be great. It's good to know that it's an option, but let's not do that as until it's a last resort, I should say. I just don't think that it's something that we want to countenance at this moment in time. Okay, threat level is pretty good. Armed police, let's crank this up to max just whilst we're here. Yeah, okay, go for that. Let's do that. 12 political capital in order to get that implemented is quite a lot. I think I honestly just want to hold off until next turn to introduce the green electronics initiative. That's the one. It's going to actually reduce pollution. Yeah, okay, so that's going to be good to do. I'm going to allow expansion plans, tourism, air travel, fine. Environmentalists don't like that. Environmentalists, by the way, represent a fairly significant percentage of the population. Okay, cyber warfare has become a thing. Okay, that's fine. Apparently, that is a thing. That is a thing. We're engaging in cyber warfare, cyber and cipher warfare, presumably. All right, the intelligence services are they're starting to make inroads into that, but it's going to take a little while for that to take effect. GDP is still maxed out, though, so I'm not really worried. Egalitarian society has ended, which is good. Tax evasion is about to develop, but it's not actually going to develop, which is good. Share IPO success, wonderful. Love to see it. Very, very happy with that. Yeah, we're never going to have tax evasion around. We should never have had egalitarian society in the first place, so it's good that we've fixed that up, so that's wonderful. Our debt to GDP ratio should be improving, not like it particularly matters. It's actually at 66% at the moment, which I think is the best. Well, it is the best that we've ever seen it, because this is the lowest level of debt that we've had, combined with the highest equal of debt, the highest level of GDP that we've had. So it's the best ratio. It's the best ratio that we've ever gosh darn seen. Look at that. Look at that. You can actually straight up just see exactly how consistent that's been for the last couple of turns. It's because it's inextricably linked with GDP. Tobacco usage is the same. That's a little bit funky. That's a little bit funky. But it is what it is. I mean, do we want to throw tobacco tax up a little bit? To be honest, I feel like I kind of do. I kind of do want to decrease tobacco usage just a little bit. It is going to make a lot of people very, very angry, but, you know, if that's what we have to do, then that's what we have to do. Anyway, give me the Green Electronics Initiative. Yep, give me the Green Electronics Initiative. Fund that to the absolute max. Brilliant. And let's see if there's anything else that we can introduce that is sort of in a similar vein. Work safety law? You gotta be kidding me. Not a chance. Not a chance. No, I literally do not think that there's anything else. Cyberbullying awareness? Sure, you know what? Let's do that. Get rid of another red pip. We have loads, by the way. Loads and loads and loads of red events that I really have no idea how we can fix. Price of food is gonna go right up, but apparently hasn't gone right up yet, which is very, very strange. Obesity is still a thing. We should introduce the junk food tax. We definitely should do that. Wow, GDP actually takes a little bit of a hit for the first time in a while. Honestly, can you blame GDP for taking a little bit of a hit, given the fact that the global economy is literally at its worst place? Global economy is at its worst place. We've got cyber warfare. We've got a water shortage. We've got a rare earth crisis. We've got a pollution crisis. Obesity, respiratory problems, hospital overcrowding, cyberbullying, internet crime, fake news, and cyber warfare. I mean, it's just insane. It's just absolutely insane. 34 political capital. I need 34 political capital. I really, really do. The problem is farmers, liberals. Okay, you know what? It's time. I know that I've been back and forth on this in the past, but we're gonna crank up quantitative easing. This is my final decision. We are doubling down. We absolutely need to do it. We need to do it in the next 13 turns. We need to get more political capital. It has to be done. We could implement helicopter money. Helicopter money would probably get us across the line. It would be good to do, but do we want to do it? To be honest, I do kind of want to do it. Yeah, let's do it. There's no downside really, is there? Not really. There's literally no downside, which is, I mean, insane to consider, but sure. Yeah, medium helicopter money, that sounds totally fine. And then I think that we just want to straight up just go to the next turn. We should start to see our inflation really, really take off. We're going to allow the merger to take place. Self-employed people hate it, but capitalists freaking love it, which is absolutely grand. Almost everyone is a capitalist, which is why I would anticipate not having any problems with assassination attempts. It might happen if some people feel strongly enough about being liberals, but there you go. Also, weird thing. You'd imagine that press freedom is inversely correlated to security effectiveness, i.e., the more free the press is, the less secure I am, if that makes sense, right? So it's weird to see that it's sort of 87%. It's 87% on the way to completion. So if I increase this, then this is gonna improve my security. I don't feel like that's necessarily correct, but there you go. I could implement body cameras, by the way. That is something that improves liberal happiness without actually improving the liberal membership. So yeah, reduce racial tension, reduce corruption. That's very, very nice. Basically a free policy to introduce anyway. Okay, I mean, how on earth are we going to get rid of some of the problems that we have in this country? I have absolutely no idea. GDP has returned to max. Good. There was a little blip there, but that's fine. Poverty has shot right down because of helicopter money. Health is continuing to increase. Wonderful. The pollution that seems to be plaguing us, that's going to end next turn. Presumably that's because of the decrease in GDP. I presume so anyway. But I'm pretty glad that that's had an effect. So that's nice. Environmental protests, are they going to end? No, not a chance. The environment presumably improved for a month, or will have improved for a month. No, or apparently not. No, it's just flatlining. It's absolutely dead. The environment is gone. We have killed the environment. Congratulations to me. Obesity, we're getting on top of obesity. Wonderful. What changed? Is it the price of food by any chance? Yeah, it's the price of food. It's the price of food. It's definitely the price of food. There's going to be a food crisis coming. Mark my flippin' words. How do we want to get on top of that? How do we want to get on top of the food crisis? That's a great question. It's a great question. We do have the ability. We do have the ability to introduce, what is it? It's the Climate Change Adaptation Fund. It does fix the water shortage. Would cost up to 130 billion if we wanted to actually do that. The state water company actually exacerbates the water shortage, so that's not something that we want to deal with. University grants, I mean, yeah, university grants would be good for education, but I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to improve that. I still need a higher executive term limit. Like, we're still going for that. Like, that still needs to be an absolute priority for us at this moment in time. How's our inflation looking? How's our inflation looking? Inflation? Come on, inflation. Come on, inflation. We need inflation. We need it now. We need it now. We absolutely need as much as we possibly can get right now. Otherwise, we might not be able to get it high enough by the time the next election rolls around. For that reason, maybe I want to. That's not going to be good. That's not going to be good if we tone this back. No. I mean, if I go to the next turn, I will lose like 1 political capital. Which is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world at all if I was to do that. I really just want to make sure that I implement this executive term limit. Because if I don't, then I'm just so liable to forget. And that is what's worrying me here. That is really, really, really what's worrying me here. But at the same time, I mean, is it essential that it happens right now? No, not at all. Rubber bullets? That sounds quite security conscious. Security policy conscious. Detention without trial. Yeah, none of this stuff can actually be implemented until we have way more political capital. But all of these things are almost certainly going to be implemented. Banning divorce, decrease liberal opinion, and decrease membership of the liberalism group. I mean, that sounds good to me, to be honest. An anti-corruption agency? That sounds almost totally pointless. I mean, if we can't do anything about it now, maybe we could just get ahead of the curve and see if we can try and get ourselves rare earth metal mining or something along these lines. Trade union restrictions, increase the working week, increase productivity. Yeah, we should get that, to be honest. Smart meter program, organic farming subsidy. Yeah, I guess the organic farming subsidy is not a bad idea. Eco home regulations, energy efficiency, CO2 emissions, cap CEO pay. No. Carbon capture and storage. No. I mean, nothing is really sticking out as something that we want to get. Ooh. Somebody pointed out in the comments. Thank you very much for doing this, by the way. The married tax allowance. Yes, so the married tax allowance actually improves religious happiness and decreases liberal membership. It is going to cost me 42 billion, but I think that I'm absolutely okay with that. I think. Ban face recognition in public. Ban face recognition in public. Yes, absolutely ban that to make sure that the liberals don't despise me. That's absolutely fine. Cool. Good to see. Community policing, we can't cancel the policy even with 4 political capital, so that's fine. Let's just head to the next turn. All right, credit rating downgraded. You know, occasionally it'll happen, especially when there's a flash crash, which just wipes 30% out of our GDP in one fell swoop. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. We can just about handle that. Tax evasion, no issues with tax evasion. Obesity has now fixed itself, which is grand. I say has fixed itself. We've fixed it. We've absolutely fixed it. Health is about to max out, which is great. We still have a massive budget surplus, even after we end up spending, you know, 42 billion on a married tax allowance to try and decrease membership of the liberal group. I'm hoping that that's going to start to accelerate. There's 12 turns to implement that. It's going to take a little while. Crank up the alcohol law a little bit. I mean, we could do it, to be honest. Strong restrictions. It would decrease liberal opinion quite substantially, though. That's us on 28 political capital there. How's our inflation looking? How's our inflation looking? Our inflation is looking good. We're getting to the situation where we're going to be able to do some Some nasty, nasty, nasty things. And I mean genuinely nasty things. Hospital overcrowding. I mean, private healthcare. Private healthcare is maxed out, which is real nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy with it. It looks good. Do we need to be spending as much as we're spending on these healthcare vouchers? You know what? Let's reduce this. Let's reduce this. Let's spend 20 billion instead of 40 billion. We'll save ourselves a little bit extra. And you know what? Just takes us down, I believe, below the cap. Yeah, perfect. Well, actually, we still lose 1 political capital, but that's a price that I'm perfectly willing to pay. Right, so this is going to take us to the next turn, right? Obviously. And the good news is, first of all, GDP is back up to basically max levels. Poverty is up just a smidgeroony, but that's okay. We can increase helicopter money if we need to get on top of the poverty situation. Uncompetitive economy. Uncompetitive economy shouldn't... The reason that the uncompetitive economy is around is because of this rare earth crisis. Productivity has fallen a little bit. The respiratory disease is showing no signs of ending either, which is a bit irritating. We could maybe crack down on legal drug consumption. Yeah. How much would that? 24 political capital? 24 political capital to do that. Honestly, it might not be the craziest thing in the world to do. Now. We got 128 billion surplus, which is wonderful. However, the good news is that I have got the ability to increase my executive term limit. I'm going to increase my executive term limit to 3. I'm going to do it right now whilst I remember. If I don't do it whilst I remember, then we're going to have a problem. The executive term length can also be increased. It's going to cost me a whole bunch of political capital, though. How's our inflation looking? It's looking good. It's looking good. How's our threat assessment looking? Our threat assessment is looking totally fine. That's excellent. Very, very happy with that. Married tax allowance should hopefully be... Again, this is showing me the conservative group. I don't care about the conservative group. I care about the liberal membership group. That is what I care about. Yeah, so that is definitely taking effect. It's definitely taken a little while, but it's fine. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Okay, any chance that I can perhaps get rare earth metal mining? No, not even slightly close to being able to do that. Can I introduce anything else? Do I need to introduce anything else? I don't need to introduce an obesity tax or a junk food tax, should I say? That's not a big deal. We've dealt with that already. Automation tax, no recreational drugs tax. I mean, that could bring in loads of money, and it'll also jack up poverty, which is not exactly ideal. I tell you what, let's actually do this, because this is one way to get on top of our legal drug consumption and raise us a whole bunch of extra money. So yeah, that's not necessarily a bad idea at all. Helicopter money, let's crank up helicopter money. Yep, so we can decrease poverty a little bit and also spur on our inflation. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, do not raise the wreath. The wreath. Yeah, the liberals do not like that. Patriots like me as much as they possibly can already. So there's no point in trying to appease the patriots. There's every point trying to appease the liberal group. Okay, health is now maxed out, which is, I mean, absolutely tremendous, frankly. Given that we've got a food crisis ongoing, that's kind of surprising. Yeah, not entirely sure why that's the case. Either way, this is spurred on almost entirely by the fact that there is a water shortage. I know how to fix this. I do know how to fix this. It is with a climate change adaptation fund. I don't want to do it, though. I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend however much freaking money on that stupid policy. And it is a stupid policy. I say it's a stupid policy. It's a fine policy. But I just don't want to spend that much money on it. Man, oh man, oh man. Look at the state of the environment. It's just a disaster. Anyway, how's inflation looking? Inflation is about to max out, which is very, very good indeed. I'm very, very excited to see that take effect. As soon as inflation maxes out, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. My cabinet does like me. My cabinet very, very, very much likes me. So we should be in a good opportunity to... We should be in a good place to take on the law and order policies. I'm just thinking here, is it worth me trying to get rid of fake news? maybe. I mean, I can boost up funding in the state broadcaster. I can definitely do that. But I don't really want to at this moment in time. Let's just have a little look at our transport policy, shall we? Environmentalists would like a clean fuel subsidy. I mean, a clean fuel subsidy, to be honest, is a good idea. Same with the banning low MPG cars. Let's actually do that in the first instance. The reason that I say that is because it actually helps the environment in a major way and also decreases car usage. So, you know, that's got kind of got a double whammy when it comes to improving the environment. Reform the Secret Service. Again, entirely trying to appease the liberals. The Patriots still love me. It's not going anywhere. Don't even worry about it. The Patriots ain't gonna leave me. Patriots ain't gonna leave me. Alrighty, what the heck is this? Quantum computing. Our technological advantage has been increased by 10%, which is great. Yeah, it was decreased a little bit due to this rare earth crisis, but we've got like such an advanced level of technology that I'm really not worried about that even slightly. So that's good. Tax evasion is another, it's still imminent. It's still almost gonna come online, but that's okay. Health is down by a little bit. Not entirely sure why that is, but that's okay. Crucially, poverty just about leveled out. Poverty just about leveled out. That's totally fine. We've got a massive amount of budget surplus coming in here, which is really great because we're just continuing to pay off our debt each and every turn, which is wonderful. Now, food crisis. Are you showing any sign of ending? No. Rare earth crisis might actually end soon. Foreign relations. Foreign relations did increase. I mean, to be honest, if I could improve my foreign relations, that would be great. Max this out. That's not going to make much of a difference. Intellectual property rights don't make any difference whatsoever. Tourism ad campaign, we're already fully invested in that. I think the state broadcaster, honestly, is a great way to go about increasing foreign relations and decreasing fake news. So kind of hits two birds with one stone there. Two birds, one stone. That is perfect in my mind. Yeah, threat assessment is looking minimal. Maybe we're just out of the woods. I mean, I'm almost certain that everyone in the country, or almost everyone in the country, is a capitalist. Child benefit, I mean, we can absolutely scale this right down, can't we? Okay, scale child benefit all the way down. Did I introduce child benefit? I feel like I didn't introduce child benefit. No, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the membership. What affects the membership? Wait, child benefit does impact membership of the capitalist group. Well, okay, so it impacts membership of the socialist group, which is not the same as the capitalist group, but it is actually the same as the capitalist group, if you know what I mean. Which is weird to think about, but there we go. Okay, we're not going to change it, not on this turn anyway. What's up with you? Farmers and liberal. That's okay. I don't need your support for much longer. I've almost got dictatorial-like powers. Look at this. Inflation is about to max out. It's about to max out next turn. This is exactly where we want to be. Okay, let's do it. Okay, hyperinflation. It's happened. Wonderful. This is exactly where we want to be. So GDP is going to take a little bit of a hit. I appreciate that. Food price is already maxed out, so don't even worry about it. Internet trade. I mean, look, who cares about internet trade? It's not a big deal. Not a big deal, not even slightly. Business confidence coming down is a bit of a pain in the backside because it's gonna have a knock-on effect to GDP, but I can just about tolerate that. GDP, even after the fact that we've got, you know, a miserable hyperinflation situation, it's still quite high. We need to maintain high GDP so that we can maintain our high level of credit rating. That's what we're after, right? Uncompetitive economy probably is not going to end, I don't think, because hyperinflation does not affect productivity, doesn't affect anything like that. Refuse the ban on non-LED light bulbs. Again, trying to appease the liberals, very, very important. Some stupid donor has left the party. That's fine. Right, so capitalists really do not like hyperinflation. If that's the worst that we have to deal with, then that's the worst that we have to deal with. That is something that I can understand. I mean, we're about to get rid of the child benefit very, very soon indeed. Okay, so emergency powers should be coming on next turn, if I'm not mistaken. I believe. I hope. I think. That should be happening next turn. In the meantime, let's get rid of the child benefit, shall we? How's our population looking, actually? It is increasing. It is increasing. I don't understand how the population decreases pollution. That's still a complete mystery to me. But there you go. Let's cancel this policy. Save ourselves $67 billion in the process, which is very, very nice indeed. Might upset some socialists, although, again, they seem to love me for some obscene reason. I really don't understand why. Pollution is probably not going to end anytime soon. I mean, look, maybe we can just, you know, spend 16 of our points on, I don't know, some policy. Some policy. A clean fuel subsidy? Sure. Clean fuel subsidy to improve the environment. $3 billion. Spend it. Absolutely spend it. Trade Council. Let's do Trade Council. See if we can try and build up our international trade and our foreign relations after they sort of collapsed. That's fine. Okay, so hopefully, emergency powers. It's happened. Okay, so this is basically the best case scenario for us, right? We've got a high level of GDP, a consistently high level of GDP with emergency powers now, which means that hopefully we should be able to manipulate the game to giving us loads and loads and loads of political capital. Look at this, 34 political capital each and every turn, which is fantastic. Emergency powers basically just doubles our political capital each and every turn. So if we can suffer the costs of hyperinflation, which is lower business confidence, which is lower capitalist opinion, which is a higher food price. It's already maxed out anyway. Lower GDP, lower international trade, and faster internet currency adoption, which is fine. We can tax the heck out of this, actually. Corporation tax, income tax. Hold up. Do I want to introduce... I think I want to introduce an internet currency tax. Internet currency taxation. Capitalists would dislike that, though. Capitalists would definitely like that. Also, mortgage tax relief was a suggested policy that would be good to implement, and I'm not necessarily against that, not even slightly. Law and order. What do we want to introduce? What do we want to introduce? I mean, nothing really this turn. You know, we want to just wait until we've got the ability to implement any of these policies. I'm going to prevent the database purely to, again, appease the liberals. What do the conservatives think of me? They don't hate me, but they don't exactly love me to the max. Not as much as perhaps they could. What about family planning? Family planning being maxed out, is that a bad thing? No, I actually think that this is a good thing. Let's max out family planning. It does decrease religious and conservative happiness, but I think that's fine because gender equality actually positively feeds into liberal opinion. So if we can improve gender equality just a little bit, that would net us some extra favor with the liberals. Okay, good news is debt to GDP ratio is still very, very good. Look at this rate. Look at this. As we pay off our debt, by the way, we get more and more money to spend on whatever. So it's like it's a no-brainer to just continue to pay off our debt. Right. I was basically thinking, hey, it would probably be a good idea if we could actually implement one of these crazy policies. I tell you what, wiretapping is a crazy policy, isn't it? Wiretapping is totally a crazy policy. Let's max that out. Decrease the membership of the liberalism group. Wonderful. It's just a shame that crime and corruption are both at 0. Right? I mean, corruption has been at 0 for a good long time since we introduced body cameras, actually, which is fine. But violent crime has never risen above 0, and regular crime has not risen above 0 since we got rid of alcohol abuse and antisocial behavior on like turn 3 of the game. So it's like I'm introducing all of these crazy law and order policies for, you know, an achievement, but I feel like maybe it should be a little bit more challenging, perhaps. It would be good if it was a little bit more worthwhile, should I say. Environmental protests, yeah, I mean, is there another transport, fuel efficiency standards, environmentalist, capitalist CO2? I don't really want to do anything that's going to impact capitalist happiness, because capitalist happiness, believe it or not, is the way that I win this game. So we need to be really, really careful. 100% capitalist population, though, would be excellent. Tax evasion. Oh, tax evasion is almost a thing now. I think I actually want to straight up just turn this down a little bit. Yeah, let's take this down. Let's take this down a notch. Maybe not that much. That much seems reasonable. Let's do that. Let's do that. That absolutely seems reasonable. We have a lot. We have a lot of income. $300 billion a quarter. That really is incredible. Food crisis is not going to go anywhere. Pollution, not really going to go anywhere. Not at this rate. Hyperinflation, not going anywhere, but good. We don't want it to go anywhere. Environmental protests, not going anywhere. Gig economy, good. Glad that that's not going anywhere. Water shortage, not going anywhere. Irritatingly, more people on plant-based diets, honestly, is a good thing. The higher the price of food, the more people on plant-based diets, which means that the water shortage actually decreases, which is kind of crazy to consider, but there you go. Rare earth crisis looks like it's kind of bottomed out, which is just about fine, to be honest. Which is just about fine. Secret courts? Can I introduce secret courts? You bet your bottom dollar that I can. Let's max out secret courts. Okay. Because the reason that we're maxing out secret courts is because that is another policy in the intelligence area. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! The intelligence briefing is telling me that that people are starting to get agitated. People are starting to get agitated about what I'm doing here. Can you blame them? Frankly, no. No, you can't. Respiratory disease, that still exists. Hospital overcrowding. I mean, look, we are very close to reducing that to nothing. Tobacco usage. Can we decrease tobacco usage just a little bit? Whether it's increasing the tobacco tax or what is probably my preferred way of dealing with the tobacco issue is through a tobacco awareness campaign. That's probably just going to be just enough to decrease it and therefore decrease our healthcare demand and therefore decrease hospital overcrowding, which will improve the opinion of parents and retired people everywhere. Right, threat assessment. What's the threat assessment? Threat assessment looks steady. Looks steady. This is okay. This is absolutely fine. Curfews. Can we introduce curfews? Can we introduce torture by secret services? No, not yet. Mandatory microchips? No, not yet. Detention without trial? No. ID cards? No. Okay, so we need to wait another turn then before that takes effect. That's cool. I just want to know. I just want to know roughly. It would maybe be a good idea to check on the tax evasion situation. Wait, what? Did I reduce my income tax? Did I reduce my income tax and suddenly I'm still making $760 billion a quarter? And that's at a AA rating. What? Why haven't I got the opportunity to get a AAA rating? Go for it. Yeah, liberal opinion, very, very important. Okay, look at this. This is very, very worrying. Liberal happiness has decreased to a very, very dangerous point. The good thing about doing this strategy, by the way, the hyperinflation emergency powers strategy, is that it allows us to implement all of these law and order policies, which are quite unpopular, to be honest. Quite unpopular. It allows us to introduce them very, very quickly in comparison to normal. Expand the rights of way. Sure. Whatever, doesn't particularly matter. New major donor. Love to see it. Love to see it. You would like to implement consumer rights. To be honest, if you want to quit, then you can quit. I'm not particularly bothered about that. The one issue that I do have with you quitting is that if you decide to quit, look at that, 65 political capital. If you decide to quit, that's going to make the Liberals even more unhappy, and the Liberals are already fairly unhappy. Diversity Alliance. Diversity Alliance is, I think, fed in through... No, it's multicultural. Who's the Diversity Alliance, then? I have no idea. I have no idea where the... Wait, hold on. It is, isn't it? It is the Diversity Alliance. I was right. It is the Diversity Alliance, and it's the multicultural warriors that do the assassinations. I mean, that's fine. We've got no dangerous groups yet. Not quite yet, thankfully, so we're fine. We're fine on that front. Environmental protests. Yeah, look, I would love to solve the environmental issues. Maybe we can sort of take a little bit of time to see if we can... adopt a slightly more environmentally minded policy. I mean, rare earth metal mining would be good to get done purely because the water shortage is a bit of a pain in the backside. Well, I say that. The rare earth crisis is just irritating because it decreases productivity and all of these things. So I think we're going to fully fund the rare earth metal mining thing, which is, you know, not very exciting perhaps, but does need to be done. Law and order, you know what, let's worry about that later. You know, in an ideal world, to be honest, I would love to introduce... Oh, look at this. Do we still have cyber warfare ongoing? No, we don't have cyber warfare ongoing. But could I introduce internet censorship? Let's go for it. Let's absolutely go for it. Let's introduce internet censorship. It's going to decrease technology, which is perhaps going to have somewhat of a negative effect on the technological advantage. But look, we can probably survive that. In fact, you know what? As a consequence, let's see if we can boost up technology colleges so we can actually boost the technology from that angle. Right, recycling. I mean, we can improve recycling a little bit. Not like it particularly matters. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Flash crash, another flash crash. Okay, that is a real pain in the backside. Tax evasion. Ooh, looks like we almost got ourselves up to the line there, but thankfully didn't get across the line there. What is this? Import tariffs? What would import tariffs do? Import tariffs would actually improve capitalist relations. So you know what? I will implement that, but I will implement it ever so slightly. I mean, we can have the slightest of import tariffs, and that's only because I want to keep my donor on board, given that my popularity has fallen a little bit in recent time. In recent time, it has decreased somewhat. Okay, rare earth crisis, rare earth metal mining, we're decreasing that. Why the heck did that take a big old jump? It shouldn't have. It very much shouldn't have done that. The water shortage, yeah, that's showing no signs of abating, irritatingly. The food crisis is still ongoing, decreasing productivity, as you do. Also, did my cabinet minister go? Oh, they did. That's irritating. I didn't see that. Oh yeah. Ministerial resignation. That's okay. You were a liberal, we need to get rid of you anyway. I mean, I'm looking for a capitalist and environmentalist. Not a bad idea. Honestly, you though, patriot and a capitalist, welcome on board. Welcome to the team. I actually think that you're probably going to be just the right person for the job here. Now, capitalists don't like me at the moment because we do have a situation of hyperinflation, obviously. But, it's mostly coming from the fact that there was a flash crash, which was a little bit of a pain in the backside. No worries at all. Now, 2 turns until the election. I think that we are going to cope with that election just fine. Here's hoping. Okay, good news and bad news. Unemployment back down to 0, wonderful. GDP back up to almost where it was. Credit rating being downgraded. It's now A? It's now A? I mean, that's destroyed our surplus, actually. How on earth is it just A? I honestly feel like our credit rating, frankly, our debt has never been this low. We've managed to pay off like $4 trillion of debt, which is incredible. But, oh my goodness, the Diversity Alliance are not happy. What can I introduce? Torture by Secret Services? Why would this increase my strong leader credentials? If people don't know about it, surely it would be secret, right? Petrol protests. Detention without trial apparently decreases the petrol protests. All right, there you go. Curfews, I feel like, should probably be the last thing that we introduce, right? Detention without trial, sure. Let's introduce detention without trial. Absolutely, let's max that out. Okay, liberal membership. Liberal membership has, like, decreased dramatically. If you have a little look, actually, you can see that it's come down a lot. It's come down from about 50% or 45% down to about 30%. And that's still going to continue to decrease. We've still got wiretapping, secret courts, and now detention without trial that we're all just waiting to sort of come online. Now, my popularity is high. My popularity is high because I've allowed for that. You know, capitalists very, very, very much like me. Happiness distribution, most of the capitalists are fanatically supportive. I mean, that's kind of what we planned for. So it's not surprising to see that things are good. But, you know, in other news, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other categories. State employees, for example, 56% of everyone is actually a state employee. And they love me. They really, really love me. So the state employees really, 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 really want to vote for me, which is excellent. Socialists also love me. Patriots as well. We have surprisingly few patriots. Is it just that racial tension is so darn low that we don't have any patriots? That's really kind of strange, but okay. I also feel like, you know, the game makes certain... Oh, this is a great idea. The game makes certain concessions. The game makes certain concessions to the fact that, you know, there is a distinct American geography. For example, if I go to... where is it? Is it traffic congestion? Car usage... It's traffic congestion. Yeah, traffic congestion here. So there's a modifier that I cannot get rid of called USA geography, which presumably accounts for the fact that the USA is very, very large and therefore there's much less traffic congestion or something. Bit of a flawed metric, you know, because there's a lot of traffic in, you know, New York City, LA, etc. I think you get the picture, though. For the most part, it's a pretty big country and it's got some pretty good road infrastructure, and therefore traffic congestion is a little bit less common across the entirety of the country. So yeah, there's definitely some specific... Ooh, actually, we did actually meet quantitative easing. That was kind of crazy, actually. What do I want to do? Raise private prisons. Yeah, let's do that. We can't make any other pledges. That's it. We've got the election now. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make is that I'm almost certain that there should be more patriots than normal, if it is the United States that we're talking about here. I'm not anticipating much opposition from the Communist Alliance. I made a joke about this last time, about the fact that we were up against the Communist Alliance, but 99% of the vote, I mean, look, that's good. That's really, really good. Liberals, really not a big fan of me. Not a big fan of me. However, it looks like liberals, for the most part... Oh my goodness, what is happening? Pollution has ended. Internet crime has ended. The water shortage has ended. How the heck did that happen? Was it the environment? Was it the environment improved by a huge amount for just a single turn? So we're about to see them all come back. Fine, all of our problems will return to us in a bit. But yeah, I feel like there should be slightly more patriots, right? For America, if that's the case. All right, we want to just continue with the law and order policies. Rubber bullets? I mean, I don't really feel like we need rubber bullets at all. Legalizing sex work? It's also not really something that I want to introduce. No, we want to just sort of get rid of all the liberals as much as we can. It's a really, really steep descent. That's down 3% from last turn, by the way. I mean, do we have anything that we really need to do on this turn? I don't think so. We're getting 32 political capital a turn, which is very, very good. We're just going to stick in this emergency power situation for a little while. In fact, what's our max? Our max is 64. Is there any way that we can increase that a little bit? If we were to improve our capitalist relations just slightly, right? Perhaps by maybe like scrapping corporation tax, honestly. Something that makes capitalists happy. So here's my logic. If we can improve capitalist happiness, right? Then that will improve both relations, or both relationships with Luke Long and also Savannah. I presume that's Rodriguez. However, it's quite difficult to do when we've got this hyperinflation nonsense hanging over our heads. However, if I improve that, then that's going to allow my political capital cap to increase. Higher loyalty from the cabinet ministers means that we have more political capital to play around with, and that would allow us to do. That would allow us to remove our executive term limit in one fell swoop. That would be really, really good if that was the case. So 68 political capital is what we need to do that, and so maybe it's worth just saving until we get to that point. So for that reason, maybe we see if we can try and introduce some capitalist-focused policies here. I mean, I feel like we're almost there, to be honest. Like, there's Young Entrepreneur Scheme. Young Entrepreneur Scheme, sure. Let's go for that. Young Entrepreneur Scheme. Anything that is remotely graduate tax. Sure, graduate tax. That's fine. I mean, it doesn't improve capitalist opinion much, but it's something at least, you know? It's something. An alcohol awareness campaign, no. Social justice campaign, youth politics council. Give me a youth politics council. Given that I just torpedoed my relations with the youths, speed limits, raise speed limits. Sure. Motorists freaking love it. Motorists always hate me. It's always a good thing to irritate the motorists. What is this? Oh, no, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Okay, so a little slight increase in the Liberal membership there. Bit disappointing, but, you know, hey-ho, you can't always get what you want. Water shortage is back in play. The food price never left max anyway, so, I mean, it doesn't particularly matter. Pollution is about to develop. We knew that this would happen. And there is absolutely diddly squat that we can do about it, frankly, because the environment is back to being absolutely gosh darned awful. However, importantly, credit rating was upgraded, and that improves both GDP, almost back to max, I believe, but more importantly, capitalist opinion. If capitalist opinion improves, then the opinion of my cabinet improves. This is very important. Emergency powers, they ain't going away. No, we're keeping them. 2.1, 2.6, 2.6. So yeah, you religious and capitalist. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. If we improve capitalist opinion, we will control the world. It's quite literally that simple. Okay, so any other capitalist-focused policies? Ban second home ownership, that would be dreadful. Compulsory work for the unemployed. I mean, sure. Let's do it. Again, it's not going to make a huge difference, but it is going to decrease membership of the socialism group. I know that, you know, we are on a mission to try and turn this place into a police state. However, that can almost certainly wait. Tax, diverted profits tax, no automation tax, no nothing. I honestly think that maybe what is it? It's a tax relief, foreign investor tax relief. Do I have foreign investor tax relief? Maybe I have foreign investor tax relief. Does it feed into GDP? Foreign investment. There is definitely the ability to have foreign investor tax relief. Small business grants. No. It's around somewhere. If it's not around, then it's a policy that's still kicking. There it is. Foreign investor tax breaks. That actually improves GDP. It doesn't actually improve capitalist opinion, irritatingly. Yeah. Oil drilling subsidies. No. State energy company. No. Organic farming subsidy. No. State energy. No. Trade union restrictions. Trade union restrictions would be good to implement. Let's see if we can try and implement trade union restrictions next turn. Pollution, we knew it would be coming. That's fine. Internet currency adoption. We haven't really had a look at that for a while. How's our GDP looking? It's looking pretty good. Yeah, how's internet currency adoption looking? Because I wasn't really paying attention to that. It's kind of tailed off, to be honest, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. I presume that the more that this decreases, the more corporation tax, income tax, and sales tax that we're going to actually be able to collect. Because at the moment, we're only collecting 97% of corporation tax, 96% of income tax, 94% of sales tax. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, we still got a massive surplus, and there's no chance that anything is gonna change. But it's just worth keeping in mind, right? Right, liberal membership should be back on the decrease after that March last time. What did I say I was gonna... Ooh, that's gonna decrease the water shortage. That's good to know. Childcare provision, no. There was foreign investor tax breaks, and then more importantly, it was trade union restrictions. That was what it was. Okay, so trade union restrictions. Let's go. Trade unionist membership is going to decrease rapidly. Socialism membership is going to decrease rapidly as well. Capitalist opinion and productivity both going to increase. Speaking of productivity, which one is productivity again? I can never freaking remember. It's business confidence. The business has no confidence. The business has no confidence. Productivity. I mean, it's trending upwards. It's trending upwards ever so slightly. The food crisis. I mean, we've got literally no chance of ending the food crisis. I feel like maybe it is time to introduce synthetic meat research grants. I think I might do that next turn, actually. Oh, something that I do need to remember. 66 political capital. Yeah, we're going to wait until we got 68. Declare gig economy, jobs as disguised, leave current regulations alone. Leave current regulations alone, improve capitalist relations. That is great. Now, that should allow us to get our cap of, to get above our cap of 68, or at least to our cap of 68, I should say, not above our cap. We're going to allow drilling, again, appease capitalists. Very, very good. You know, a massive budget surplus. Massive budget surplus at this moment in time, which is truly remarkable. Truly remarkable. Capitalist opinion is very, very high. Still 66 political capital. Right. We're going to get 34, or close to 34 next turn. Which means I can spend 6 this turn. And assuming that there is growth in the max, I should max out my political capital next turn. So I can spend 6. Executive term length, yeah. We don't care about the term length per se. We just care about the executive term limit. And I want to do it all in one. As opposed to spending 34 political capital every now and again. Okay. Maybe I just tweak labor laws. That costs exactly 6 political capital. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Cool. One slight problem. How are our wages doing? Wages are probably going to decrease, actually. Wages are probably going to decrease after I changed up all of those bits and bobs. Immigration might have to increase to counteract. No, we want to reduce immigration in order to push up wages. Yeah, that's right. I forgot for a second. Hospital overcrowding, that's actually going to end next turn. Can you believe that? That's been with us since the very beginning. Environmental protests, they ain't going anywhere. They ain't going anywhere. Okay, let's hope and pray for 68 political capital coming out of this turn. Disease eradicated. Wonderful. That's great. Situation imminent. Antibiotic resistant bacteria. We can put in place an antibiotics ban if we want to. What is this? You are asking me to implement torture usage by secret services? Oh, that's excellent. I'm delighted. I mean, I can do that this turn. I will say that the plan to appease the capitalist worked out perfectly, and that gets us 68 political capital, which allows us to uncap our executive term limit. Oh yeah, that's right, 68 political capital. It's a pricey one, and I'm not going to do it this turn because I've been demanded. Implement policy as requested. Let's freaking go. Let's absolutely fund this to the max. Brilliant. What does that leave me with? 28 political capital? Is that enough for some synthetic meat research? Yeah, let's do synthetic meat research. Environmentalists don't like that. Why? Why don't environmentalists like that? The food price is going to decrease dramatically, and the water shortage should hopefully fix itself, but, you know, fat chance of that happening, eh? Rare earth metal mining seemingly has been coming online for the last 16 turns. Hopefully it should be online soon. Yeah. Okay, fine. Wow, we've got under 20 trillion debt. Under $20 trillion of debt. That is excellent. Press freedom. I still don't understand why we need to max out press freedom here. Like, that should surely be the opposite way around. Surely. Compulsory school sports. Not necessary. Compulsory foreign language. Why do capitalists like that? It's a straight up good policy, to be honest. Let's do it. Let's do it. again, capitalist opinion is going to increase by like 10% because of this one policy. Well, you love to see it, to be honest. You love to see it. I guess it's so that there are more people in business who speak different languages, and therefore perhaps it's easier to hire sort of people to reach out to different markets, and it's easier to spread products around or something. I don't actually know. Anyway, what do we got here? Tax evasion is almost coming online, but don't worry, it's not actually coming online. Antibiotic-resistant bacteria is about to come online, but that is much more of a threat than tax evasion is. Right, power lines, build power lines anyway. Again, appease the capitalists. We're all in on appeasing the capitalists. Anyone else is frankly irrelevant. The threat is definitely still there. The threat is definitely still there. It's close to not being there, but it's definitely still there. We're not going to faff around too much on that turn, by the way. High productivity. You bet your bottom dollar we've got high productivity. That is excellent. And again, look at that. It makes capitalist opinion just go through the roof. How is it? How is it that we've got a situation of hyperinflation, and yet capitalists still have like a, what, 85% opinion of me? I mean, that is bonkers. That's fantastic. Extradite, keep them here. Keep them here. Again, appease the liberals. Not like it particularly matters. I don't even know why I'm still bothering to appease the liberals. It's clear. It's clear that there are a decreasing number of liberals. There are a decreasing number of liberals. That's down to 15%. That's very, very good. Very, very good. We're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. We're chunking down the membership of the group. Executive term limit. Let's uncap it. That's right. Executive term limit is going to be turned up to max. 68 political capital. That is far and away the most amount of political capital that I have ever spent on any policy ever. I mean, that is absolutely obscene. But to be honest, I'm kind of glad that that did end up happening, because now it means that we can effectively, if we wanted to, continue forever. GDP took a little bit of a hit there. Flash crash is not exactly ideal. You're demanding youth club subsidies. Okay, there's a little bit of a contradiction in your attitude there. So you want youth club subsidies right now, but you know, a couple of turns ago you were begging for me to implement torture by the secret services. Fine, I guess. Sure. There's no downside other than the fact that it costs, you know, 1.7 billion or whatever. I can just about tolerate that. Respiratory disease, I mean, it's not going anywhere, is it? It's not going anywhere, not at all. Same with pollution, that's not going anywhere. The water shortage would be going somewhere if I actually just reduced my debt. But the irritating thing is that I really, really, really want to get my credit rating back to AAA. And yet, I'm just not able to do that for whatever reason. We've managed to run a surplus pretty much consistently. Even, you can see here, this is when the our credit rating did actually decrease at a point over here because of the flash crash. So it might be worth us trying to scale back the automated trading stuff, limit automated trading. But again, that would impact capitalist opinion, and I'm not entirely sure that I want to do that. I'm not entirely sure that I want to do that. In fact, no, wait, I take it back. I am sure that I don't want to do that. Water shortage should hopefully be decreasing because of the synthetic meat research grants, so that's great. Maybe, since we've got a little bit of spare political capital on this turn, we could use this as an opportunity to perhaps introduce high-speed rail subsidies. This used to be monorail subsidies, by the way, but it was renamed as high-speed rail subsidies. I tell you what. Capitalist opinion is going to be way up if I introduce toll roads. And that's actually going to bring in 800 bucks, which is wonderful. What is car usage, actually? Car usage is pretty darned high. Now, environment is still in the bad state. What is the state of electric car transition? 50%, round about 50%. We're getting there. The rare earth crisis, which has continued to rumble on and just irritate me throughout this entire time, it's still causing a little bit of a pain in the backside, to be honest. And I don't think that there is any way that we can get rid of the rare earth crisis at this moment in time. In fact, I think that ship has sailed, so to speak. I think that we're going to see it around for forever. The food crisis, there's a good chance that we could end the food crisis if we get on top of this water shortage. But again, that requires me spending $130 billion a turn on the environment, and that's frankly something that I'm just not quite yet prepared to do. Anyway, ladies and gents, on that note, we're going to wrap this episode up. As you can see, by looking at the threat assessment page over here, we are 3 policies away. 3 policies away. That looks like a tic-tac-toe board, doesn't it? Or, you know, what's it called? Connect 4 board. That's it. Yeah, you know, we are super duper close to just connecting all of these policies up in a row and just absolutely becoming a police state. We are really close. And the great thing is that as long as the capitalist opinion continues to increase, or at least stay at a moderately high level, there is a good chance that we could just leave this hyperinflation modifier on forever. I mean, now that I've done it, I'm almost certain that it's going to get changed, and we'll have to find another way to manipulate the emergency power legislation. But that's okay. That's for a future potato. Thank you as ever to all of the fantastic Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/potato. Also thanks to Banana Nanana and C-Senpai for being the 2 $25 plus tier patrons. Also thanks to all of the brand new patrons. We've had loads and loads of brand new patrons joining up over there, getting access to exclusive content as they do. So I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. I've been Potato. I'll see you next time. Bye.